Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Z James, and this is Z32 Workshop. This video is actually going to be on my Nissan 300ZX finally. I am actually replacing, hang on a second. I am finally getting around to replacing these guys. These are Z1 silicone hoses for the power steering pump. Feed line or return lines back into the pump. Mine are pretty much shot and are, honestly, leaking. They're not really well, they're really hard. So I'm finally getting around to replace these. I've had these on my shelf for a long time and I've just been too lazy to fix them. So yeah, I will drop a link and everything down below for where I got them on from Z1, but this one you really didn't need a Z1. This could be any type of straight hydraulic hose that can handle the stuff. This guy, on the other hand, it's nice to have the curved one. For the simple fact that you got to have it so it can make the bends. You, once again, could use normal hydraulic hose to get there. Just with the J-hook bend, it's a lot easier in the straight shot. So let's take a look at the car. Or where we're at here. Let's see if I can get a light. Oh, sorry, we'll cut this out. So we're back over here. Hopefully this isn't too bright for you guys. Basically, I'm going to be replacing this line right here. That short one right there, that isn't too bad. And then if you look a little deeper, there is another one. You can see the bolt right there. And these guys, this comes out of the reservoir. And then there's a spot one right there for the reservoir. Hopefully you guys can see that. Not location, there's one right here. And ideally, I'll probably just remove this while I'm doing this to get this out. This isn't really a hard process, but on an NA, it's a lot easier than a twin turbo. With the twin turbo, you have a lot more ductwork going on in here, which will cause a problem for you, because hence the turbo going to the intercoolers and coming back for the feed. Well, you have the feed line, the return line, and then back in. Or the charge pipe, as one would say. So we're going to replace that, but the first thing I need to do before I start taking these off is I need to drain the reservoir. There are a couple ways of draining the reservoir. I am choosing to use a vacuum pump or hand pump. And I get as much as this I can get out of here so it doesn't make a giant mess. The easiest way to do that is, let's see if I can get this guy set up here for you guys. Let me move this up and around. Find you a good spot and location. Here we go. All right. Let's see what we're looking here, guys. Perfect. All you really need to do, open up the lid here. Nothing big. Then there is a basket you got to remove. It's in the bottom here. That keeps any large particulates out of said pump. And then you can take a look at the reservoir itself and you get to take a look at the whole thing. And then I'm just going to take my pump here.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread, with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Boom, off time warp. I know I'm gonna cut this, but it is what it is. And I'm not doing this in real time. As you can see, hopefully you guys can see, this hose, I haven't taken anything off, and that's how loose it is. That's all, just how stiff and how hard it is to get rid of. Hopefully you guys can see it on there without being too bright. That guy right there is the, looks like 8mm hose I gotta take off and get back on. Yeah, I don't know if that's my cause of my problem, but I'm gonna try it anyway before I have to replace this pump. If I ever have to. So let's get this hose out of the way. So back to time warp. All right, let's go off time warp. So, boom, off time warp. As you can see, kind of a pain in the butt to get off. Tools used, because I don't know if I do this enough for you guys. 8mm sockets, 10mm sockets to get stuff off. Little stubby wrench here helped out best, and a Harbor Freight hose remover pliers, as the case may be. Had to take that off to get better access, which is the intake pipe. And here are the pipes I'm looking. These are so stiff, it's not even funny. So I'm going to take this hose clamp off, transfer it over to my new one, and probably lube it up with a little bit of oil so this doesn't get turned into a problem. Make sure this is cleaned. And then we'll put this on first before I put on the top one and then the short stubby straight shot, because I think it's going to be easier that way. So let's get going to that. So 3, 2, 1, time warp. Boom, off time warp, guys. Let's take a look at the car here. Everything went back together just fine. I put a little dab of engine oil on these hoses to put them on. Transmission fluid for these guys to make them press in a little harder. This was a little harder to get down because he's kind of torqued up a little bit, but I guess that's going to be fine. I tightened them down to where it felt pretty snug and about the same location. Then I put these 10mm back on. This guy is Dextron ATF fluid, or yeah, Dextron automatic transmission fluid. I only had Dextron 3 in the garage here, so that's what's got put back in. You run it a few minutes, you turn the wheel a bunch of times, make sure there's any air of the system, because you're really just getting it back down to the pump here, and then just check for leaks. And that's what I'm currently doing, and I'm not seeing any. As for the hoses that got removed, crap, those are all bricks. They are silly hard. I mean, I'm going to pitch those away. Those things are worthless. So let's get back to this at the end of the day here. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you have any comments or questions, please hit me up. I'm usually pretty responsive. I know this is not all the Z32 stuff I'm doing, but I'm going to be doing some more here once I get this stealth taken care of, which is eating a lot of my time and in the garage. The reason I fixed this is I was having a belt squeal. I'm pretty sure the hoses were leaking, or at least the power steering pump is itself, getting onto the pulley for the alternator and water. So I am testing that to see how that's going to play out. Hopefully that clears it up where I'm not dripping anymore. If not, then I'm pretty sure I've got a problem with the pump itself that's leaking, or the return hose from the rack, or to the rack, sorry, the power hose to the rack. which I won't fix until after I do the engine swap, because that's when you do that. The other thing that is potentially, I do have a new belt coming that I could replace the belt for the alternator and the water pump at the same time. I've got that pretty snug. I got loose, but man, that's really tight. You got to watch putting too much pressure on it, because you put a little too much pressure on the snout of the water pump and you can break it off. Google it. There's a lot of people that have problems with it, that you just over tighten it. I am afraid that I'm getting close to that level, trying to get this belt squeal away, which I think is really just from this. So we're gonna, fingers crossed, see if this fixes my issue, anything like that. So take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, please like and subscribe.